So today we're going to try something new. I'm calling this the Stringjoy R&D Lab. Basically, we're going to take ideas that customers have pitched us over email, either over the years or new ideas that people submit to us, and we're going to try and see if we can make them a reality when it comes to an actual set of guitar strings. And even though they might turn out bad, we're going to show exactly what they sound like so you can see at home. Our first one that we're going to tackle is something that people have been asking me about forever, which is what happens when you put all plain strings on an electric guitar. Now here, I don't mean like Nashville tuning or something like that where we're tuning strings up so that we can use normal plain strings. I mean using real thick plain strings in place of wound strings. So like a 36 plain or a 46 plain. I've had people ask me for this a bunch. I always tell them it's a bad idea, but today we're going to try to do it ourselves so that we can see what it actually sounds like. So before we jump into everything, I wanted to do my show and tell for the week. I got this Athena Vibra-Phase from Solid Gold Effects. I don't know exactly what a Vibra-Phase is. I know what it sounds like, but I don't know exactly what it does. I know it has a really cool, like squishy, syrupy, psyche thing to it. I'm bad at describing things. But I'm excited to check it out. I haven't actually plugged it in yet. Maybe you'll get a chance to screw with it a little bit later.
Yeah, I'd love to.
So our challenge for today, we've actually been asked this a lot over the years from different people, wondering why they can't have all plain strings on their guitar and why we're so mean and don't let them have all plain strings on their guitar. Now I don't mean like Nashville tuning where we're like going an octave up on some strings so it works, but like actually why can't you have like a plain 36 and a plain 46 on the bottom end of an electric guitar? So today we're going to attempt to do that and see exactly what it sounds like. And see if there's a reason that we don't make those plain steel gauges, or if maybe it sounds absolutely magical and we've just been missing something all along. I have a little bit of a hunch it's not going to sound.
It's going to be bad.
All that magical.
We'll give it a shot.
Okay.
This is going to be really difficult to make, and it's also going to sound really bad. But let's do it.
I'm really not sure what to expect with its sound, but I have high hopes. I want to be optimistic. I think slide could be really cool with it.
I think, in fact, I know this is going to sound terrible. I've been telling people for years why this is a bad idea, why we use wound strings when we get to a certain gauge, because plain strings just become way too massive. They become really unruly and hard to get to do what you want to do. But I'm excited to see what'll happen. All right, so for this, what we're going to do is we're going to go with like a classic set of 10s, not like our balanced 10s. So it'll be 10, 13, 17, 26, 36, 46. Basically, the first 4 strings will be super easy. Obviously, 10, 13, and 17 we make as plain steel. No difference there. And the 4th string will actually be easy too, since we do make a 26 plain, though they don't get used too often. It's a monster of a plain string. But those are ready to go. The 2 ones that'll be really weird for us today are the 36 and the 46. These don't exist in like the wire that we use, so I had to go get some piano wire. As far as I understand it, this should be essentially the exact same, properties of wire as we use. It's just made thicker for piano since somebody's not playing a piano with their fingers in that way, at least. So you can like already see from this coil, the shit's, yeah.
Dangerous.
So a little dangerous. There's a little bit of play to this one. The 46, I'm guessing, will have even less play. But basically, to make this all work, what we've got to do is figure out a way to get this around a ball end or otherwise install it on a guitar. So that'll be its own project. Nick, I guess we'll go back and try to figure out if there's a way to get this stuff to bend to our liking. I'm not sure exactly how that's going to work, but we'll do our best.
Yeah. She'll go. This one, well, I don't know about the thicker stuff.
The thicker one I'm afraid of. I'm going to wait till I have safety glasses on to unload that guy. But we'll go and try to make that happen.
Yeah.
And we'll catch up with you once we have it working, or perhaps once we've completely failed at making it work.
I'm going to stay here and check this thing out.
So with normal wire, ball ending like this is a really simple process, but when we get to wire this thick, we have to improvise.
So I put some safety glasses on because this stuff nearly killed me earlier when we were twisting with it. Anywho, I see that you've got a ball end on here. Tell me what you got going on this far.
Yeah, so I took a ball end off of one of our trash strings down there, and I wrapped this around with quite a bit of force and a couple of pairs of pliers and a vise, and now we need to twist it in a way that makes it look like, you know, somewhat nice of a end of a string.
You got further than I did. When I was screwing with this last, like there was no way I was getting it that tight at all.
Yeah, so now I think what we need to do...
And this, by the way, is this the 36 or the 46?
I have no idea.
I think it's probably the 36.
I think it is the 36 because it wasn't that super difficult. Yeah, so what I'm going to try to do now is actually put it on the machine, which will anchor the actual string portion, will allow me to twist the end around the ball end.
Cool. Sounds good. Will it fit in the collet? Do we know?
I don't believe so. I
Let's
might
find out.
need to.
I can just become a collet.
We are going to also have to trim the length.
Yeah, that's fine. We can catch up with that a little bit later.
I just got to hold this down.
Well, hey, that works, doesn't it?
So now, I just need to... Oh, it didn't like that.
I figured that would be the second place we'd find issues.
Ow. Alright. Give me a good strong pull.
Attention. I'm gonna clamp it too.
Yep, clamp it. That's pinched around there. Oh.
I should mention that if we were a piano string company, we would have a press that would do this. They actually have like rigs that will basically make a lot like a ball twist, but like with a loop end.
That's cool.
That they'll use. Unfortunately, we don't, and I thought about buying one, but I don't want to buy one because I don't have a piano that I own. So we're doing this instead.
Alright.
Release.
Yep.
And we don't need many twists, you know.
Well, now the ball end doesn't want to stay on.
I mean, honestly, like using a small guitar ball end for something like this is kind of insane, but like a bass ball end won't fit on that guitar that we're going on to. So it's what we have.
That's what we do here at Stringjoy. We strive for perfection.
Even when doing the impossible.
Yes.
Just remember, failure is an option.
I need another. Here, just hold that for me right there. I told you we needed a workbench.
I think, yeah, you're right. I think the mistake, you should have left more wire at the end there, because then we'd have a little bit more leverage to pull it.
Well, lucky for you, we can just do it again.
If you can get it that close, I'd go even further, man.
Even further than that? How much of this wire did you buy?
Well, there's like 10 feet of wire. It was a piano's length of wire.
I don't know what that is.
It's not. Yeah, not that we can like really get some leverage on it. Yeah.
Hold it down there. Or just,
Well, got some kinks now. But we don't need all
close the jaws. Oh shit. It was going so well.
All is well.
This now will fly everywhere. Close it.
It's quite the grip you got there.
That ought to do it.
It's beautiful. See, that's beautiful craftsmanship, everybody. That's
right.
how you do it. But I think it'll hold, and that's all that we really needed to do. It's worth noting that we have a lot of systems for doing this on normal wire where it gets really nice. It's just this stuff is so thick and will not play at all until we're stuck just like absolutely trying to manipulate it as hard as we can
Off the excess.
to make it happen. Yeah, I wonder if I can get that fisherman's loop on there.
Cool Whip. I mean Miracle Whip. The
I
tangy
prefer Cool Whip.
yeah, on a sandwich.
A good old turkey and Cool Whip sandwich. A Southern original.
You know, ham and Cool Whip would probably work.
That's disgusting.
Get out.
You should be ashamed.
Get out.
Give it a little bit. Yeah. Start around there.
Through. Oh, good heavens.
Feels good to be touching wire without gloves. I always have gloves, but this wire doesn't. How's it going over there?
We're gonna need to pull it tight again.
Okay.
So if we want to do the little fish it through there
Yeah,
trick.
I don't know where my other pliers are. Nick's going to quit. Immediately.
Thanks. This is my last day. I really hope none of my repair clients see me doing what I'm doing right now.
Oh my god. That looks like a medieval
geez.
string.
It's gonna gent for sure.
Just hanging up
Will
there.
it screw in?
Yeah, I just gotta get that tail end through here. Oh god.
Can you get it? I mean, we can drill it out.
So this guitar, before anybody freaks out at home, I bought this Xavier Jazzmaster copy specifically for the purpose of testing strings. We've done all sorts of horrific things to it over the years, and we'll probably continue to do horrific things to it into the future. But its sole purpose is so that we can string up really crazy strings and not really have to worry about beating up a guitar in order to get them on there, or swap them out really quick or anything like that.
Nick is a trained luthier, which is why we've tasked him with.
Don't let anyone know at the Gallup School this is what I'm doing now.
Disclaimer, you should never take a drill bit to your guitar unless you really know what you're doing, and you should definitely never do it for something as stupid as this. Yet another reason you shouldn't do this at home, you're gonna have to mess with your guitar quite a bit, and it's not gonna be worth it. I'm just telling you. It's not, but it is for us.
Don't know that it's going through.
No. I mean, this is just my high-speed steel. I could go with the cobalt.
So I'm running a standard Strat through a Fender reverb unit, which is really cool, into a Royal Bandmaster clone. It's this really cool amp we found. It's built in the 60s in Japan. Love it. Cool tone. And checking out this Athena pedal from Solid Gold Effects. I can see there's 3 knobs on here: speed, depth, and level. So I'm assuming it's some sort of mod type pedal. I'm not really sure what it sounds like yet. And there's a couple switches on here for mode and color. So let's see what it sounds like. Here's my dry signal. A little out of tune, but we'll get the demo through. And here we go. Let's check this thing out. So I'm going to put all the knobs at 12 o'clock. And I've got the mode all the way to the left. See what it is. I'm going to start messing with some of these knobs and see how crazy we can get. That's pretty cool. All right, let's see what some of these other modes do. Hey, man.
Do you sound like Jimi Hendrix yet?
You know, I'm working on it.
What happens when everything's at 10? This is how I test any pedal. I turn everything up.
See, I started at 12 o'clock.
No,
You went to 10.
That's a rookie mistake.
You went to 10 dial. Because that.
Yeah, that's 4 or 5 o'clock. I want to know what everything
That's
sounds
about.
like at
See,
max.
that's closing time right there.
Yeah.
That's.
When did pitch become a part of the pedal?
Yeah, so that's that third section that I.
Yeah, is that
mode.
the expression? I'm not
I
positive.
believe so.
Okay. What's up?
Sounds good.
How does that sound?
We made it.
Nice.
Let's find out.
Let's check it out.
Oh, baby.
All right. Here you go. So
Okay.
after rolling around on the ground with it for a while, we got it strung up.
This is nice.
Yeah, so it's shockingly nice for how difficult it was. You're gonna
tilt this way.
probably have some tuning stability issues, aside from it just being one of the cheapest guitars you can buy. It's under ridiculous tension from these PLAINS strings. The tension on these strings is literally going to split this truss rod in half, which you'll notice as you play. The tension you're used to on the PLAINS strings down here are going to seem super slinky in comparison to how stiff that is.
So should I worry about strings breaking or the neck popping on the
I
neck
mean,
popping?
that truss, yeah, the truss rod's going to give out
It's
far before you break one of those.
I think they make
strings.
these truss rods out of aluminum on these guitars, right?
Yeah.
so.
So
Well, I want to hear how it sounds.
I want to hear how it sounds
yeah.
too.
Plug it
Let's
in.
check this out.
Here.
All right.
So let's start with just hit me with the low E. We'll run clean, then we'll put some drive in. But hit me with the low E and the A. Oh! It sounds like ringing.
This is actually how they did the beginning of For Whom the Bell Tolls.
I was gonna think.
Yeah,
so
I
if
was
you
gonna
didn't
say
know that.
is when they say the Strat bell tone, that's what they're talking
That's
about.
exactly what they're talking about.
Yeah. Here's the A.
It's better. It is noticeably better.
There's that
It hits you
overtone.
right in the eardrum.
And then let's hear the D too. So it's still, that doesn't sound good. It's noticeably better, but you can
Not good.
still see, like if you play the G, Like the D sounds kind of in between that
Yeah.
and there. You can kind of get this progression, I kind of think, as you start with the lowest, like the highest plain string,
Yeah.
and then work your way lower. You get it from it being more natural to it having that more dead, horrible overtony sound.
Yeah.
Which I think is probably a lot of the reason that like people favor wound thirds and things. Kind of hit us with like each one
Yeah.
from highest. Yeah.
Wow.
It sounds like a synth.
It does.
That one, that's amazing.
With like that fifth or sixth in that. So like, to my knowledge, I think this is the first 10 to 46 completely plain
plain
set
strings.
ever put on a guitar, and you can see why. So let's hear everything played in context a little bit. I'm sure the tuning is completely.
Yeah. The other strings hold too.
Let's
very
hear
nice.
everything played in context a little. Give me some riffs.
That's kind of.
It's an analog ring modulator, is what it is.
It is.
All right, I have to know what it sounds like
Kick
with
on
some
the drive.
drive. Let's get.
Oh, yeah.
I haven't actually checked our level or anything yet, so let's get this dialed in first. That's okay. It's okay on the A.
Yeah.
Okay. I mean, relatively. I mean,
That's.
so we've answered the
something.
question of the day. Does
Yeah.
it gent?
Oh.
Yeah, it's easy to get it to drop.
Wow. That is special.
So. Pretty woolly.
What is
So this is a good question: is whether it'll work.
Yeah.
What happens?
I feel
for
like it's
slide.
going to sound amazing for slide.
Even there, it's like all those weird overtones.
Yeah.
You're just not getting rid of them.
Yeah, it's just honestly, it's just too big for the scale length that it has.
So after playing it, sound was one thing.
Sounded bad.
Feel, it felt nice. It was really smooth. Sound, it's not going to work.
As expected, it was bad.
It snapped the tremolo spring. it's just loose in there.
About as I expected, there's a ton of unwanted, often really awful sounding overtones happening with that really, really thick 46 at the bottom end. Not to mention being able to actually bend that strings really hard, and on top of that, it just won't really hold itself to a uniform length. It's just too strong. When we're stretching it to the note that we're trying to tune it to, it doesn't actually pull it straight. You can still see a little bit of wonky wobbles in there, which is part of what's giving it that really bell-like, gong-like tone. So I think this one pretty solidly comes down in the camp of things that don't work very well. I hope this provides a little bit of an explanation for why it doesn't work, why wound strings are important in order to tune to a given pitch in a way that isn't going to be such high tension, or honestly in a way that the wire isn't so strong that it can't be strung up to tension without maintaining its inconsistencies along the way and thus not really being able to resonate well. These are why wound strings are fantastic. This is why we use them. This is why we don't recommend plain fourths, much less plain fifths or sixth, or I think by the time we ended here, we had probably a plain seventh or eighth. I hope you learned something there at home. If you like this video, give it a like down below and leave a comment letting us know what wild animal you think this ended up sounding like. I'm very curious.